What kind of water is that?
Energy.
Yeah, energy.
Giving me energy and I can feel it already.
Take you a big swig, baby. You ready? Good morning. This is the Scott County Council meeting, December 14th, 2021, 9:30. Show that 6 are present and Diane is joining us on the phone. Let's go ahead. We got roll call down. Let's go ahead and do the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
John?
Father, we come to you this morning, Lord, ask that you give us wisdom and knowledge, Lord, to be good stewards with the money of the taxpayers in Scott County. We ask, Lord, that you hand me up on the people that's went through this tornado, Lord. We ask that you be with them, that you guide them, and make a way for them, Lord. And we ask all of this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you all for joining us this morning. Does anybody have any business they'd like to bring before the council? We won't be doing anything with it this morning, but anything that's not on our agenda? Seeing none, we'll move right on to the agenda. Superior Court transfer.
And you'll be dealing with the two that, about halfway down the page, there's only two that require your vote.
The 7526 and 3934. So they're going from the juror per diem, since we didn't have a lot of those going on, and we'll move the 7526 to law books and 3934 to office supplies. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Lindy motion. Eric second. All in favor? 6-0.
Can't read those law books without making a comment. If we spend more money on law books.
All right, treasurer.
Same thing, she needs transfers. From postage, travel expense, maintenance contracts, and take tax statement contract into line up the longevity line item.
Do I have a motion to transfer money to longevity from those 4 accounts?
So moved.
Ab,
Second.
Donnie second. All in favor? 6-0. Assessor.
She's requesting a transfer of $300 from 307 sales ratio to 2100 office supplies.
So moved.
Donnie motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Raymond second. All in favor? 6-0. All right, next we have Health Department. There's Michelle right there. Miss Michelle?
How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Wonderful.
Good. So I need to create a line item in my 1159 budget and then do an appropriation. The commissioners have requested that our environmentalists get a cell phone. So I need to make that line item because I don't have any sort of cell phone line item in my budget.
Who needs a cell phone?
Tim, our environmentalist, who does all of our septic inspections, the commissioners have asked if we could get him a cell phone.
Here we go.
So of course that's kind of on hold until I obviously have a line item to pay for that, and money appropriated to that line item to pay for that. And then since we're at the end of the year, if that gets approved, then I'll be coming right back next month to ask for the exact same thing, but for a bigger amount, so it's the year-long amount.
Michelle, this isn't a stipend though, is it? This is
No,
actual
this will be a
phone
physical phone.
that the department will own.
Yes, yeah,
No,
so,
that's not a stipend, it's.
correct. Nobody in my department
Still,
actually
it's-
gets a stipend right now.
Silly. Okay. So you have it in your budget already?
No,
It'd be
So-
an additional appropriation.
correct.
Out of the commissioner's account? They're gonna find it somewhere on one of their line items?
No.
Who's paying for it?
It
We
would be
are.
1159, my
What's that
health
mean?
department budget.
From your part?
You don't know 1159? Yes, that's my health department budget. More and more.
How much is that?
I think I asked for 500, so I would have enough to buy the phone
the
initially.
year?
Well, I mean, for this month.
Okay.
And then, I would like to just kind of, it would be like a prepaid phone. So Tim has just asked for nothing fancy, just like a flip phone. Cause that's kind of the technology that he's comfortable with. And then I would hope to kind of like put just a certain amount of minutes on it. And then once those run out, whether that lasts him a month or 3 months, to kind of go from there. Cause I'm not really sure, since he's never had one before, I'm not really sure what the usage is gonna be of it.
I'm against starting anybody else on a cell phone. We have cell phones, everybody has an unlimited plan,
Yes.
everybody can use their own phones. We're getting ready to
Well,
do some big things with our contracts.
Tim actually does not have a personal cell phone. So, like for me, like I have a personal cell phone. I use that as my work phone. I don't get any kind of stipend, which is okay. But he does not have any kind of cell phone. So I think if you watch the commissioners meeting back, one of their things was that if somebody's on site for like this new septic installation and they need to reach him immediately to like make a decision about something, that since he doesn't have a cell phone, they would have to possibly wait hours or days to get a response, and then that could be costly to the homeowner. Tim said that hasn't happened that he's aware of, where like something, urgent like that, but never say never.
They're the ones that brought it.
Yeah,
All right,
they
yeah.
brought it to me.
Now, when do you need an answer on that?
Well, they meet tomorrow, and this was discussed at the second meeting in November, so it's been a month or so.
Well, knowing a little bit what he does, I wished he had a phone, to be honest with you. Just over the years, knowing what he does, and sometimes you gotta run him down if you need something. We could,
Do you have a
I
motion?
have a question.
Oh, hi Diane.
Go ahead.
Hey, sorry, I'm sorry. Who's speaking? Is it Michelle?
Yeah,
Okay. Who are we requesting a cell phone for? I'm trying to understand. There's a little bit of an echo.
I'm sorry, I would have spoke louder if I knew you were on the phone. Tim Bruner, our environmentalist. So at the second commissioners meeting in November, it was brought up that they requested that he get a cell phone. And as Tammy explained in that meeting, I do not have a line item in my 1159 health department budget. And so I'm asking today if you guys would create that line item and then do an additional appropriation of $500 so I could buy the cell phone and then put some like prepaid minutes on it.
And what is it he exactly does?
He's our environmentalist, so he does all of our septic inspections, food inspections, any kind of environmental public health issues, trash, ordinances, vector control, anything like that. That is his realm.
yeah, and he's more or less in the field almost constantly. He's not like in the office where they
Do
go
we have
back.
a list of everybody that does? Because we addressed this during budget time about cell phones.
We're not going into that today.
Yeah.
We're not doing,
I don't think we've ever, and I apologize if I've missed it somewhere with all of us being sick and everything, I apologize. But did we ever really address this on who all has one and who all we really feel?
that's a different
And
day.
I'm saying that he doesn't, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, so-
I know we addressed this during budget time, and that is a concern of mine because we have people that have cell phones that are not answering them, not answering text messages.
Right.
And if we're providing it, then they need to be held accountable for that ever addressed that since budget time?
So, I'll just speak for health department employees. We do have a few grant funded cell phones, so I have no cell phone line item in my budget, which is why I'm here today. So like I do not have a monthly stipend for my cell phone. I just use my personal cell phone. No other, like I said, cell phones or any kind of stipend comes from my 1159, my tax rate, health department budget. We do have a few grant funded cell phones. So, and I don't think Tim's job description requires him to be on call 24/7. I'd have to go back and double check that. So this would just be a cell phone that would be used during business hours.
Do I have a motion to create the line item?
I make that motion.
Second?
I'll second.
And we're up for questions, right?
Yeah.
My thing is where he's at and what he does.
Sure.
I am against the cell phones, to be honest with you. Even the commissioners having cell phones, I'm against it. Because a lot of times they don't answer. They've got personal phones that it doesn't cost them any more to answer that phone as it does. And everybody's got their number anyway.
Yeah.
So I am.
I apologize. I didn't realize cell phones were this big of a. And I think a lot of
It's getting to be
Yeah.
a big
I
Sure, and I
expense for the county.
totally get that.
I'm against cell phones, to be honest with you, but in this situation, he doesn't have one. He's in the field. You can't get a hold of him. And that's the reason I made the motion.
Sure.
All in favor?
Wait a minute, I got more discussion.
Okay.
Okay. I know we talked about a lot of this stuff before, but, you know, where are we gonna nip it in the bud? You know, are we ever gonna nip it? You know, Tim's a good guy, friend of mine. Okay, Tim doesn't have a cell phone.
Right.
Okay, well, Tim gets a free cell phone, and then he goes in and says, hello, I got my free cell phone. Well, I go, I'm paying for mine. I'm getting rid of it. I'm getting my free one. So, you know, I mean, where are you gonna nip it? And just, you know, and how far are you gonna go with it? That eventually everybody's gonna have to have one.
You said you don't know if his job description is 24/7, correct?
I do not know that off the top of my head.
Uh-huh.
I know mine, like I have to be,
Yeah.
you know, ideal for me, but I haven't looked at his recently to see if that's, cause like I said, if that's the expectation, he answer it 24/7.
Then yes, he would.
I don't know if he would be okay with that.
Right,
Well, and
and
if he-
so
if-
if
Well, we
he's
don't answer
not
our phone.
24, if he's not 24/7, then it can be something that is left when he leaves the
Yes.
office.
That's what she's saying, that
Yeah.
it's just gonna be a prepaid phone for the day.
And that's the only reason I would vote for it is the situation.
Yeah,
And I think it's a
yeah.
good thing to do.
Yeah, and I think, and yeah, so like what Lindsay's saying is basically that would nip the whole personal use after hours thing. Definitely,
We'll revisit that another day, but
yeah.
Well,
All
he
in
hadn't been
favor?
too concerned with it, or he'd have a cell phone.
Right.
Yeah, I think he said he's only been like stranded once, and he just happened to knock on
You ready for a vote?
Somebody's door.
somebody's door, and they helped him change his tire, and he was on his way. And he's been with us for over 10 years, so almost 15.
all right, all in favor of the line, create the line item? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ab, you good with it?
Yes.
5, 4. All opposed? Diane, well, never mind. 1,
I can't vote.
Yes.
I know it dawned on me.
Just like the old days.
Now,
That's 5-1, Teresa. Eric opposed.
Thank you.
Now, not in connection with this issue,
Okay, responds
who
to
would
emergencies
we
on a 24-hour
tax
basis.
with the
But
job
it
of
doesn't say.
So
surveying
Have a-
cell phones, who's got them?
Emergency.
I'm getting ready to check it all out.
So in the.
Maybe the
in
IT
past,
man.
yes,
IT?
yeah, the home
Maybe
phone
IT?
where
IT
In an
guy?
emergency, they call the cell home phone.
Yeah, home
So that can
phone
still
or
continue.
his wife. So like she'll send me text messages.
It's an
Phone and sick that
expensive
day or
thing
something
for
like
us.
So it's
Right,
more
and I wouldn't
on
wanna
the
pack two
infield.
phones in.
Yes, like I said, it would stay at work.
I think it's.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna see about having somebody, and I think it should be the IT, I did one years ago, and about 70% of our workforce had cell phones. We didn't do anything about it, like I say, this was years ago. I think a new survey would be in order. Who would do that, Tammy? IT?
It's a budget item. I've talked to commissioners in the past about a policy, that would, State Board of Accounts asks me practically every audit cycle.
Well, we fund
"Where's
it, so
your
we can
cell
make an
phone
ordinance.
policy?" And then I respond to them that, well, it's a matter of budget, and what's adopted in the budget, that's as far as our policy goes, because we don't have, I have spoken to Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy, our HR advisor, about cell phones and what are other counties doing. She said a lot of the trend now is BYOD. Whenever you change your job descriptions, you add bring your own device. Therefore, there is no subsidy from your employers to provide you with, because your expectation, if you're an employee, is that you're contactable. If your job description especially says emergencies, then you know it's gonna be very rare. If it's on call for 24 hours a day, you might wanna think about that position. I know our IT person uses their phone like a laptop. And that is a particular situation. It's a specialty, there's only one of them. You know, and at times you think, well, does the county need to provide the actual phone for that person to use?
All right,
just like
this is
you would
another
a
day.
computer?
This is
Let's-
another
It's another
day.
day.
Let's move on
Yeah,
with
but
this.
it's not the
let's
point
say
here,
this.
but it's just that, you know, it's a bigger issue than just,
Okay, so
And then I
you,
think I need an additional appropriation of 500. Is that a separate motion that they have to do, Teresa?
yes, that'll be different.
Yes.
so where are we?
So you made the line item, but now I need money in that line item.
I know, but is it coming from one of your line items?
I just did an additional appropriation. Is what additional appropriation is what we advertised for.
$500 and 1159 health department.
Where's it coming from?
1159 Health Department.
Okay, so moved.
All right, Raymond motioned. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Donnie, second. If we come up with a better execution plan for this, when we do, we'll notify you and then we'll go to recording. All right, all in favor? Did you have a discussion?
No, I just wanted, I will bring some info to the council early next year. I'm not gonna, I'd like to do it in January. I'm not gonna promise that. I don't know about me, so, early next year, the council will have some info on cell phones.
Okay.
A continuation of our discussion there.
All right, all in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4. Opposed? 1. Eric?
And then I have another transfer request in one of my grants. So it was a grant that is part of our HIV prevention, so our HIV tester. That position left back in September, so it's been vacant, but we have been contracting Thrive, which is a peer recovery group here in Scott County, and so they've been helping us run our syringe service program. And so I just need to create a line item for contractual services and then transfer some money from my HIV tester position to that line item so I can pay Thrive. And it's like $3,500, is that what it is, Lisa? Yeah.
So we're making that contractual.
Yes, make a contractual line item in my grant. and
All right, do I have a
transfer.
motion to create the line item contractual in the health department?
So moved.
Motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Donnie, second. All in favor?
I got a question.
Yes.
Is this, you say that this, explain it to me one more time.
Sure, so I get a grant, well, I have a grant right now until the end of the year for HIV prevention. That funds 2 positions. One is an HIV tester, one is an outreach coordinator. My HIV tester position, actually both positions are vacant right now. And so to kind of help run our syringe service program to the end of the year, because as you know, January 1st it's done. We contracted with Thrive, which is a peer recovery organization here in Scott County. So they send a peer, which is the same person that was working at the syringe service program for us, but she just changed jobs and went to work for Thrive full time. So so I can spend down some of my grant, because if you don't use the grant money, you just give it up. And so, and she helps us out by providing contractual hours through Thrive. I just don't have a contractual line item in that grant because I wasn't planning on that being the case when I applied for the budget at the beginning of the year. So I needed to create the contractual line item and then do the transfer of $3,500 to pay out the contract for the end of the year.
Till the end of the year.
To the end of the year, yeah.
So first of the year, all goes away.
Right, the contract with Thrive that the commissioner signed was, I think just under $3,500, and it's only good from, I think it was September 1st through December 31st, so.
Okay.
Yep.
Anybody else?
I'm good.
All in favor? We got 6-0. Okay, now we need to transfer $3,500 into contractual for Thrive till the end of the year. Do I have a motion? We're moving that from the HIV prevention grant, right?
Yes,
Prevention
yes,
grant.
yes, yes.
Motion, Lindy?
I'll second.
Ab second. All in favor? 6-0.
And I think my last two items are just two grant applications. One is for $50,000. That would continue to fund our free COVID testing site that we partner with the hospital to do through the end of June of next year. So January through June, we get $50,000 every 6 months. And then the other one is $5,000 for a grant that's called DEFA. That one's actually given to us the whole $5,000 up front, and then we submit it throughout the year. Basically, it funds our food pantry and items like that for anyone who's HIV positive that does all of our care coordination services up at our Austin office.
That's these two documents.
Yes, those are those two right there.
And so they are non-matching.
Correct, yeah. The $50,000, I apply for that reimbursement basically once we've had at least one clinic at the beginning of the year. And then the $5,000, we get that up front if it's approved. And then we spend that throughout the year.
Okay, so we'll be out initially, or
Yeah.
finally we'll be out nothing.
Right, yeah, no matching. One's reimbursable and one's advanced.
All right, do I have a motion to go forward with these applications?
So moved.
Raymond motioned,
I'll agree with Raymond, I'll second.
Eric second. All in favor? 6-0.
All right, and I think that's it. Okay, any questions for me or anything?
Nope.
Thank you
Have a
guys.
good
You too.
All right, next on. EMS transfer requests.
They're asking to transfer $132 from travel to teaching supplies. 31300 to 21200.
Move to approve.
Hold on, what?
So $132?
Yep.
No, that's Purdue.
Purdue University.
EMS transfer requests. Do we want to skip to the other ones?
I got the Purdue one in front of me.
Oh, sorry, yeah. You want to vote on the Purdue, they're not here.
Sure, let's go ahead.
On that one.
Purdue, transfer 132 from travel to teaching supplies. Do I have a motion?
I do.
I'll
Eric,
second.
Ab second, all in favor? 6-0. All right.
EMS.
All right, EMS transfer requests.
You have a copy of it.
I don't. I mainly came here to introduce myself for those of you that don't know me, but the ones that you have in front of you are pretty much to mitigate some balance of issues that were here when I came here. I started here on the 3rd of December, so I kind of got thrown into a budgetary issue towards the end of the year. So the main one is coming from the EMS director line item, which is mine. We had, where there hasn't been that position filled for quite some time this year, we had a surplus there to help balance out our medical supplies. There was right at $10,000 worth of stuff that I had to order that was just, we were out of. So that was the main one, and then there's a couple other balance ones that I think we're gonna submit as well that were just, like I said, to mitigate some negatives and excesses in different line items.
And if the rest of these, I can do
Yep.
council doesn't need.
Okay. But the main one, like I said, is this one that's in front of you. I think there's 24 left in mine, 21 left in mine. Obviously, there's only 2 more pay periods for the end of the year, so there's a surplus in that line item. So just trying to move from payroll to medical supplies is the big thing to help mitigate a negative.
All right, do I have a motion to move the 12,000 from EMS director to medical supplies?
I'll mention.
Lindy? Lindy motion, I'll second. All in favor? 6-0.
Any questions for me while I'm here?
Good morning,
Good morning.
welcome.
That was it? Well, that's quick. Okay. I like you already.
Can you just kind of tell us who you are and
Yes,
what happened
so-
and why you're here?
My name is Nick Olick. I was here for about 8 years prior. I went over to Washington County for the last 2 years and was the director over there. Had the opportunity to come back here, and so I'm here. Made a bunch of changes and stuff over there. I don't plan on asking for a whole lot here, where as far as equipment and stuff like that, we're pretty well set. The only thing that I probably will be asking for in the near future is one personnel thing, and that's it. Just something to consider. I'm not asking for it today. I don't, you know. The only thing that I would like to see, if you guys would consider the thought of taking my deputy director off the truck. That's it. And then I'd have to replace that with an EMT or an advanced or whatever. But right now, my second person works 24/48s, and it's hard for us to do what we need to do on the admin side with billing, ABS, and all of that when they're in a normal run rotation and they're not there every day. So that's the only thing I'd like for you guys to consider and think about. Other than that, until we get a for sure budget, I don't know where we're at, but everything from what I've seen looks pretty decent. I think we'll be able to manage that. Probably have to move some money initially, just different thought as far as line items, but I think overall we'll be okay.
So you've seen all the money that we've moved over,
Yeah, that's,
so we're gonna be able to incorporate that into your all's budget.
I hope.
We moved a substantial amount of money over, so don't
Yeah.
think that your budget's looking beautiful, 'cause
Oh, it's not. I'm
Okay,
aware.
just making sure.
Yeah.
What made you want to come back here after?
I just wanna voice my stuff this time, because I was real quiet last time and that got us burnt really bad, so we're gonna keep a really good eye on it, so
As you should. The only thing that I
nobody
guess,
gets in trouble this time.
the only thing that I ask, like I said, I'm not here to make enemies or argue about anything. Is just, like I said, we all have to have the same respect and trust for each other. So, like I said, I've been over there for the last 2 years. They made some pretty big improvements over there, so I plan to hopefully do the same thing here. Just met with Raymond last week and kind of explained to him my vision, but no real big
And I
swing.
explained to you mine.
Absolutely. And I think we're on the same page.
That's Raymond's baby.
So,
And, you know, due to money, I'm not saying I wouldn't vote for new personnel, but that's really what's cost EMS at this time, is putting so many people on. If you can figure out a way to make that schedule work in a different way without getting a new personnel, I'd appreciate it.
As far as the schedule, I don't know that whether we would change that schedule, we would still have to hire somebody to do the opposite opposing schedule, even if we halved it. But I think with where I was looking, I think at least half of it, of the payroll that I would be asking for, I can use with what I've already got. So I wouldn't be asking for a full salary of appropriation. I think I can use part of what I've got.
And we can look at all that when you get all the numbers
Yep.
together, but, that's,
The unfortunate part of things is, payroll is what kills us, but payroll is what makes our money. I mean, the people are what do it, so it's one of those catch-22
but when
things.
you put salary and benefits and everything together, that's what we have to look at. How much money are they available to do this?
Absolutely.
Okay, appreciate it.
Any other questions?
Just a reminder,
Or
you
maybe
really-
we'll come back here after.
I'm sorry.
I felt like a lot of us had helped build the place when we were here. One of those things, I know it's really cliche of coming home, but it is what it is. I mean, I was here for 8 years before, and I think I proved myself over there. And it was really hard being on the fire department stuff over here and watching, not that everything was awful, that's not what I'm saying, but watching certain things happen, just wanted to try and make a difference and do my part. Hopefully I do, and if I don't, I don't. But give it my best shot for it.
Well, we're for you. We hope
You realize that when you're talking budget, that you're gonna be working closely with Teresa. And back and forth with Teresa when you're working, anything to do with budget. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
We've done for do that.
Danny. We have Danny Basham, he's been with us.
I got a question. On my email, I had a whole list of stuff from the EMS.
It's all things that
Transfers.
Teresa can take care of.
Yeah, I can do that.
You're gonna do all that?
Yes.
So we don't have to get involved in that? Okay,
Yeah, we can take care of that.
amen.
I think I got an email, but that's okay.
All right, good morning, Danny.
Good morning, Dan.
Thanks for sticking with us through all this and that and everything you've done throughout all these years.
It has been a unique experience with COVID, and
Thanks for hanging with us, because we really need the program right now. Danny had messaged me, well, we've spoke a few times, and it's just kind of got lost by the wayside, and I apologize for that, Danny. And I've spoke with Danny, and he has stuck with us through a lot of things, and we've talked about upping his position, since he does a lot more than what the initial description was. And I told him that we wouldn't be able to do anything per se today, but we need to meet with the new director, we need to meet with Danny, we need to meet with the commissioners and the council and the auditors, and all get a consensus of what's going, the new program, the new plan that's gonna go on the EMS, and we all need to come together with this one and do it the right way, to make sure that we're where Danny would like to be, since he hasn't had a substantial raise in all these years, and his position's kind of just stayed at a standstill. So that's another big discussion for another day, but Danny, go ahead and.
my salary as it stands now is $45,000 and change. According to our budget, my line item is budgeted for 50. And I'm just pointing that out. We also have another line item for extra instructors at $21,000. It's the top of the second page. Of which we've only used $115. I teach 99.9%. of everything that goes on there. Except when I'm sick or had surgery recently and things like that. So my suggestion or my proposition, or however you all would like to take it, is, we could pull some of that out of that extra instructor item and add it to the training officer's job. We could probably cut that line item in half. And I've talked with Nick, and with some additional training, we could put classes on, specialty classes like PALS and ACLS, and have people come in from other counties to get those certifications that are required. I don't see any reason why the Training Institute couldn't be full 4 days a week if it was managed properly. And I'm sure that we want to continue with the paramedic program as well, which, that brings in $100,000 plus in that 18 months. I respond on calls. If everyone's busy and there's a truck available, like Nick and I would get on it. I respond from the house. Went on 3 calls this weekend from the house, and I don't mind doing that at all. And towards the back, there's the salary surveys. One nationally, one state. That puts it around 54,000 on average.
Have you spoke with the commissioners at all?
I have not.
Or-
Well, not officially.
When you don't, when you aren't able to teach, does somebody just step in, or is that a paid
We
position?
have 2 part-time PIs that fill in every once in a while, and occasionally we would bring in a specialist. Like with the paramedic program, we brought in somebody whose specialty was cardiology or airway to give their expertise. And that comes out of that extra instructor pay.
Any other questions? Like I said, when's our joint meeting with the commissioners? Was it this morning?
Yeah.
Well,
different.
we've only got one here at the moment.
The other 2 aren't coming?
One's
One
not.
is supposed to, Randy's supposed to be here.
Okay.
Mike will not be here.
Okay.
But we do have a presentation when you are finished with your.
Okay. Well, we have a meeting after this, so we'll speak with the commissioners, and we'll try to get you a consensus, hopefully by the first of the year,
All right.
maybe. We'll try our best.
Yeah, I'd like to, like she said with the commissioners, I'd like to get with the new director and kind of present this, everybody getting on board with this and giving us something,
Understood.
okay?
We appreciate you, Danny. Thank you.
Thank you.
I cannot resist, before you come before me, you need to look at the personnel, personal appearance SOP, and you need to look at the employee handbook on personal appearance. You and I have talked about it before. Nick, that's you too.
My beard specifically.
I'm sorry?
My beard specifically.
Just look at the whole thing. That's a suggestion. It's not part of our minutes. I can't resist it when you say okay. Look at it.
I will.
You and I talked about this before.
Yes, sir, we have. We've agreed to disagree, but I do my best to follow the handbook.
You look at the handbook and the SOP.
Thank you, Danny. All right, do we have anything else, Teresa?
Consideration of minutes.
You don't have anything else? Okay.
Actually,
And I've got something when you're done.
I've got a couple things.
Okay. You wanna go ahead?
Yeah, sure.
I'm
I will ask that council vote and give me the authority, like you always do every year, to make transfers that I need to before we close out the year.
I'll make a motion to give her that authority.
As long as you're not going to Florida without us.
I'll second.
All right, Donnie motion, Nab second. We give Teresa the authority to make transfers as needed throughout the end of the year, since we won't be meeting till the 1st.
Actually, that's my next.
Yeah.
Ab seconded.
Yeah, add that.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
That's all right.
All in favor? 6-0.
My next item is, we do need to meet before the end of the year, because you will need to adopt your next salary ordinance. So, I've got a calendar here, if everybody doesn't have one in front of you.
And I'm gonna follow with the 2021 salary ordinance amendment. I went and checked all the minutes against my notes. This will be next meeting, and then it'll be followed by your 2022 salary ordinance. But this is for your review. This captures the activity on the salary ordinance for the entire year. Some was used and some wasn't, because you'll see the highway engineer stipend was never used. But you guys voted on it, so I had to put that as a potential salary disbursement. But this, like I said, summarizes all your salary changes that you'll adopt, and then we'll go into the 2022, which will have 3 parts. It'll have A, B, and C, which A would be your typical employees, B is your salary for your elected officials, their draws, and then C is your matrix only employees. So you'll have 3 parts. This is just captures all your activity that you changed from when you adopted in December of 20 to now, 21. This is this year's recap. Okay, so the things you decided on. And we'll adopt that, you guys can look at that next meeting, because if there's something that you say is different on there, you can talk to me about it, and then I'll go back and pull the minutes and we can discuss it.
All right, so any day better for anybody than,
Has the commissioner said they're going to?
They're gonna meet the 27th or 28th. I'm gonna get clarification on that tomorrow evening at their meeting. They're gonna have a year-end meeting either Monday or Tuesday, more than likely that Tuesday, the 28th, is when they're gonna meet year-end. Push out the last few claims.
well, I'd say we need a meeting with them before the end of the year, so could we all joint that together? They do their business, we'll do our business, we'll do business together.
Yeah.
After tomorrow evening, I can send out an email.
So you're saying they're looking at the 27th?
27th or 28th, I don't know what's gonna work with their schedule.
Will the consensus of us, Ab, you be around?
I'm good, yeah.
Donnie,
Anytime.
be around?
I'm
Raymond,
with Eric.
possibly the 27th? You have a treatment or anything?
27th,
I never know.
morning is no good. I'd have to change that. 28th, I can adjust that.
So the 27th or 28th?
I could do the 28th. I'd have to adjust it on the
Monday?
appointment I already have, but I could do that.
Eric, you be around? All right, so we can have a consensus.
You could do the afternoon of the 27th, Raymond.
The afternoon, yes, I could do the afternoon.
So afternoon 27th or sometime on the 28th.
Yes, 28th, I'd have to make an adjustment, but I can.
The 27th. What day's that
Afternoon
fall?
of the 27th,
Monday.
the 28th is
Monday.
okay.
And Tuesday's the 28th.
Yes.
Mercy, Donnie. Frustrated?
It's
It's one more meeting, it'll be okay.
12 more minutes.
All right, Tuesday the 28th. All right, and Tammy will let us know on that.
Tuesday the 28th.
I thought it was,
27th or 28th.
oh, yeah.
Either one.
Monday the 27th. Tuesday the 28th.
Have we figured on time yet?
And what did you say the time was?
We don't know yet. We're
Okay.
either afternoon on the 27th or morning-ish on the 28th.
Sounds good.
Teresa, anything else?
No, just your consideration of minutes.
Tammy, anything else before we do consideration of minutes?
No, just look up my salary amendment, that changes just 21's actions, and then 22's salary ordinance will be at this meeting. So you guys can look at the changes, Teresa and I are gonna go back over the budget changes and things, but this is what you guys did in 21 to modify the salary ordinance. But no, I think everything else is pretty good except the minutes.
All right, did everybody read the minutes? Everything look decent?
Good.
Everybody good with them? All right, do I have a motion to accept the,
So move.
what was the date on those? Sorry.
October 12th through 14th budget, regular and
12 through
budget.
14, regular and budget. Raymond motion, that's second.
I'll say it.
Ab second, all in favor? 6-0. Diane still on there? I know, I'm just making sure she's still.
He's back there somewhere.
All right, anybody else have anything?
I do. I'm on the aerial plan board. I cannot be there. And we need a council member on that board. And due to some things, I cannot be there. And I don't want to miss. I think it's important for us to be there. What I'd like for this board to do is take me off, and I'd like to recommend Eric to be on that board. We
You
need-
good with that, Eric?
What's Eric say about that?
We do that.
We need somebody there, and I just cannot get there. So I hope that's okay.
God bless you.
Do I need to put that in front of a motion, or is that okay?
You need to vote.
Need to vote?
Because it's appointed, well,
I'd like to make a motion, take me off that board, the aerial plan, and put Eric Gillespie on that board.
Second.
I was gonna say, was that in the form of a motion?
yep, Donnie motion, Lindy second.
Okay,
Everybody good with that, all in favor?
yeah.
That's twice you agreed with them.
5-0. You good with it, Eric?
I'm good.
You make meetings?
Huh?
You got it penciled down in your agenda?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'll be there.
And we'll talk to Marty here in a little bit, and
Okay.
get your email and all that, to let you know when the
Sounds
meetings
good,
are.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
You may come take notes?
They've got a good note there.
All right, anything
Right
else?
up here.
Yeah, before you adjourn, since we don't have, the commissioner, don't adjourn yet, let's bring, John up, and then, Jason Simler from Baker Tilly has a presentation for you all on bond issues.
More him than it is me.
Thank you, sir. Good seeing you.
Yeah, you did. Sure.
Teresa, my name's Jason Simler. I've known most of you, been here for a number of years and working with the county. And we were supposed to talk about the comprehensive financial plan that you hired us to do about a year ago. And Teresa and I were talking about that last week, and we thought with all the transfers at the end of the year and so close to closing out the books, we thought the report might be more valuable once we closed out the year and we come back in January kind of with a fresh start. So you'll probably see me again maybe next month, and we'll kind of go over that in more detail. But I was actually met with the Scottsburg Regional Commission this morning, so I was going to be in town, and one of the things I wanted to bring up was a potential refunding opportunity for the jail bonds. So I thought since I was here, I'd go ahead and bring that to your attention. Nothing has to be done today, But I thought I'd go through the numbers, just kind of put on your radar and see if it's something that the county would like to maybe move forward, later this in 2022. So I thought I'd just kind of quickly go over the numbers, just so you're aware. If you have any questions as I go through this, feel free to stop me. But if you remember in 2014, we issued a special purpose income tax bonds to help fund the jail. Those amounts, principal of outstandings on this first sheet here. The bonds were originally issued in the amount of $5,865,000. You can see that there's $4,365,000 outstanding right now, principal. You can see the interest rates on those bonds were anywhere from 3 to 4%, and you can see that your annual payment on the far right there is about $425,000 a year. So we, and we've had these conversations before, we monitor your outstanding bonds, see if there's any opportunities to refinance those at a lower interest rate, just like you'd refinance your mortgage. And you refinance at a lower interest rate and hopefully save interest. That just frees up that quote revenue to help pay for your other operating expenses that you also use that money for. So we're also contacted by an underwriting company. If you remember when we sold these bonds, we sold them competitively. And we basically looked at, on the day of closing, or the date of bond sale, I should say, we said, bring us your best bid. We went through the analysis and we went to the lowest interest rate and awarded it to the company, the underwriting firm that had the best bid. We've been contacted by Robert W. Baird. They've given us some current interest rates to see, what that would look like if we could refinance them at today's rates. So that's what we go through today. The second page, we kind of call our sources and uses. If you kind of start from the bottom part of the use of funds, you can see that the underwriter is estimating a fee of about $27,000, $28,000. I have a placement in there of $135,000 for cost of issuance. That's all your professional fees. And then we're showing that you need $4,438,000 to pay off all the principal and any accrued interest. So you can pay off the bonds completely. And there's a little bit of rounding. So you're looking at a total bond issue or total project of $4,602,000. If you look at the top part of the sheet, you can see there's what we call a premium, about $297,000. And I'll explain that here in a minute, but that's some cash up front that whoever would purchase these bonds would actually pay you to purchase the bonds. So that's cash you'd be able to apply towards the bond payment. And that leaves about $4,305,000 of principal outstanding that we would have to refinance into a new bond issue. So you turn the page. Based upon current rates of the $4,305,000 and interest rates from 2 to 3%, you can see on the far right side, based upon today's rates, your payment would be about $390,000 a year. So if you look at the next page, you compare your old debt service to your new debt service. Say about $30,000 to $35,000 a year in your annual payment. So over the life of the bond issue, that would save a total about $400,000. Look on the far right side. And in today's dollars, if you discount that back, that's about $350,000. So it's over an 8% net present value savings. So anything over 3, we recommend it's worth doing. So again, based upon current rates, I'd recommend you could go forward and save about $30,000 a year. The issue with this is we can't refinance this until August 2022, for it to be what's called a current refinancing. Because usually when we issue bonds, we have to wait, if you remember, kind of either 8 to 10 years before we can call them current. We could refinance them now, but they'd be a taxable bond issue, and your savings really wouldn't be worth going forward with it, because it'd be a higher rate. So we have to wait until May to really close on these new bonds and be able to refinance these at a tax-exempt rate. So we have some time between now and May for the market to stay where it is now to really make it worthwhile. But I want to at least bring this to your attention that if market stays where it is come May, something I recommend that we do. In order for us to be able to price and close in May, though, you need to start the approval process, which I talked to bond counsel, which you've used ISM in the past. It'd be a commissioner's decision, commissioner's approval meeting. but you can probably start that in, February, March. That way it's all approved in May, so if the market is where it is now, you can pull the lever and we can close and sell and refinance these. So again, nothing right now, but just want to know that based upon current market conditions, we could refinance these and save you about $30,000 a year.
I would say you're way ahead of me on most of this stuff, and probably everybody in the room, but ultimately, I think we're talking about refinancing some bonds and saving money.
Right.
And you're preparing us with that, unless things change in the markets, that would be our best bet to go, and we're probably talking in springtime for this to happen.
Yeah, probably I'll keep work, if you want to work with Baird, I'll still continue to be in contact with them, and we work with them a lot for new money and refinancings. We can continue to monitor the market, and in February, March, if it's still where it is now, or where we think it's beneficial, I can come back in front of you and we can start the legal process. But since I was here, and this is something I was going to bring up when we talked about the comprehensive plan, I thought I'd go ahead, and since you were already meeting today, I thought I'd go ahead and bring it here.
Well, you've done good, everything else you've done for us, Steve. Like I say, you're our expert on this stuff, and if you can save money out for it, and I think the council probably would be too, you told them that. And the fact that you're coming in early, letting us know some good things could be coming, that's a good thing.
I say we put it on the agenda for the 27th.
Well, there's really no action right now to take.
Well, we need to talk with the commissioners though, and get everybody on board, make sure everybody's good with it, so then we can get you rolling. 'Cause whatever money we can save, I say it's not gonna do us any harm.
So you got 2 bonds?
The jail bonds and also the TIF bonds. So
Is that, that's both?
this is the jail, just the jail bonds.
This is just the jail, okay, I was gonna say it,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah. We monitored that too, but that's not a point where it's worth
okay,
refinancing it.
all right.
And that savings there, that's net of any professional fees. So that's after paying professional fees, you're still gonna see it, $30,000.
And I'm seeing dates here all the way to February 2025. That'll only take to pay this off.
Mhm. Yeah, and we would keep the final maturity the same, we wouldn't extend it, it'd still pay off the same time frame, just cheaper rate.
Well, the reason I just asked that is somewhere along the line between now and 2035, it wouldn't surprise me a bit if they don't get right in the middle somewhere. People future ahead of us won't be talking about some other facility. Just possible. That's it, I'll do that out there.
Anybody else have any questions?
I have a
End of the
lot
March.
because I was late, but I'm always directing somebody else late.
Well, we just, we didn't adjourn our meeting, we just went on so that we could get Jason out of here, because we didn't know. So whatever you have for Jason.
Yeah, I think this is just kind of introducing a potential refinancing of some outstanding bonds the county has, and with the current market, the market interest rates are lower now than what they were when you issued the bonds back in 2014. So very similar to like refinancing your mortgage.
Right.
But we can't do it at tax exempt rates until August, so we have some time. But at least wanted to bring it to your attention that there's an
So
opportunity.
if we started in May, will that lock us into the interest rates if they stay the same?
Yeah, it's a federal guideline. We can't refinance it until August.
Right.
And that's called a current call, but they give you a 90-day window. So if we can close 90 days before that, we can still call it a current day. So I'm trying to push the envelope as far as I can and close in May
To keep
to keep it current.
Okay.
So, but I have to wait till May.
Okay.
So,
I just don't want to do all
beneficial
this
to you.
work and.
Yeah, no, and what I would recommend is, I can't speak for bond counsel, but for underwriter and for us, let's say we start the process in, February, March, and you approve to go forward with the refunding, and then come May, interest rates creep up, and it doesn't make sense to do the refinancing. Again, I can't speak for bond counsel, but we would just not charge you unless the financing occurred. So you're not out of anything by taking that risk. But that's kind of good, because that way if the market or if the market goes up in May, we can't do it, but let's say in July, it goes back down. You've already got the approval process, and we've already got the go-ahead to go, and we can just move while the market's right.
Thank you.
Well, thanks.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you. Always nice seeing you. Good information about saving money anyway.
I'm going back through.
Do we want to adjourn? Mike's not going to be here at all. So are we done? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn? Lindy, motion to adjourn.
All in favor, get up and walk out.
I'll second.
Donnie, second. All in favor? 6-0. That's the end of the meeting, Diane. Have a good day.